Time for another weekly update and review. Today's Saturday, September 30th. So let's get to it. First, as usual, we'll start with our performance over the last week. And as you know, actually, let's take a look at the market first. As you know, the market has been mostly going down over the last, couple of weeks, but even more, probably a month or two overall. So if we'll take a look here from the recent high, we're down about 5.5%, 6% roughly. And we'll see what happens next week, but for right now, let's see our performance. And for that, let's take a look at here. We ended up the week with 48,542, and the SPY is at 427.40. And this is we're down 2.77%, and the market has been down less than that. But just to put things a little bit into perspective is that the fact that we played with some gold and bonds, which we got stung with. So there's around $1,200 that we lost here overall. If we put that back in, I'm not going to do that, but just to see that the performance would be far closer to what we would expect with our strategy. And we're no longer going to be doing that because I want to keep this account focused on this one-to-one plus strategy, and so we'll be doing those trades, and I don't want other trades, different kinds of trades, interfering with the results. But anyhow, it is what it is for right now. We are on a projected yearly return at 18%, which is still fine, but I'm sure that we're going to beat that over the next few months, what we have until the end of the year. And here you can see us in the blue and the SPY in the red. We're still above, but we did take a little tumble here. So everything is still perfectly fine. Let's take a look at our trades. Now, just keep in mind, we didn't have any losers. All of our trades are either still working or have been closed for profit. Some of them have been closed for a little bit less profit than planned, and that's because we don't want to keep the naked puts open once the put debit spreads are closed. And this is what happened this week. We had, I think, 3 or 4 different trades that we had to close because of the put debit spreads expiring. So we did that, and even though they were positive, they didn't bring in the full amount that was planned. But that's perfectly fine. If we go and take some average over the last, let's see here, and we're still averaging just above $100 per trade, which is kind of in line with the expectations. Okay, we have 12 trades going on, and I think we'll be able to open some new trades next week. And let's take a look at our Greeks real quick. And on my last video, I had somebody asked about the new columns. If I can go a little bit more into detail, I'm assuming they're talking about these red ones here, which are connected to our hedges. And let me do that briefly. So I introduced something called hedge on demand, which is a partial hedge. It's not one of those hedges that would protect an account completely, and it's an open-ended, like a naked put would be. This is a hedge that's put in place once the market starts going down and our deltas are increasing outside of our comfort zone. We put a hedge on, and then that hedge temporarily brings our metrics down. But because that hedge is designed to be taken off as soon as the market normalizes and our deltas get in line, that means that we don't want to look at our metrics that include those hedges when we're making decision whether we're going to put another trade on or not, because the metrics could be temporarily lowered due to the hedge. So to combat that, I created these columns here that are taking out the influence of those hedges. So on the left here, under blue, everything that's blue, that's normal. That's what the platform would give you if you read the deltas and thetas and whatnot. This includes everything. So this is put in here, but then if we don't have any hedge on, we can basically just hide these columns and don't even look at them. It would be the same as putting 0 in them. But let's say we put a hedge on and we want to put the numbers in. So those numbers will be subtracted from the original number to give us a proper number. So for example, deltas here, we're taking out 26 deltas, and this is because if you take a look at this hedge, which is right here, this ES hedge is bringing in as you can see, delta around 26 negative deltas. So our deltas are showing 40, but in reality, they would be 65, 66. basically. So if we're making a decision to put a new trade on or not, we want to see how we would like it if we had 65 delta zone. So to make things simple, this sheet calculates that. So if you put 40 here and then minus 26 here, you will get your delta without hedges would be 14. Now, if this was 0 here, so if there was no hedging here in this account, then this 40 would mean that our deltas are 8, which is right here shown as deltas with the hedges. And I keep this one on just in case we need to add another hedge based on the current overall deltas. And this one is right here. So let's talk about this one again. So reverse this back. And once we add this negative delta here, it'll get added back onto the deltas, and you're making decision based on this. Now this is still plenty of room here, 0.14 delta, that's fine, we still have room. Same with theta, and then same with buying power. So what happens with buying power, because it's a little bit harder to calculate from the platform, the platform doesn't separate ES from MES. So what you have to do is you take a look at the capital requirements and MES, and you will see that it includes ES here, and the total number is 17.2 at the moment. The metrics might be off because it's weekend. And then to subtract the effect of the hedge, what we need to do is just quickly take a look here and pretend we're going to close the position just to read this number here. So right now it's showing 21.33, which means if we close this hedge, our buying power will get hit by another $2,100. So let's clear this and go back to the sheet. So if we put the buying power percentage that was reading at 15, when I took it, it was 15, and then it was reading 1,600 on Friday for the hedge. So if I put that negative effect, it'll turn it into percentage and add it onto the buying power, so that this buying power here assumes no hedges, even though it reads on the platform, it reads less. It reads currently at 17. Even though it reads 17, we assume it's 1833. It's a higher number. So this is all part of the making sure that decision for making new trades is based on the actual numbers, because what's going to happen next week, unless the market continues to go down, we'll take this hedge off and the numbers will quickly reverse. So that's all we have to worry about when it comes to that. We have 12 trades open, and we have room to put on some more. So next week we'll see how it looks, and we'll go from there. Let's take a look again at the platform real quick. So this is the hedge, and that I'm going to make a separate video pretty soon, maybe even today. We'll make a separate video how to put the hedge on and how to take it off. And then our MES trades are here, and you can see all of those naked puts have been taken. So now all of these are full tranches, and nothing really is hurting that we have to pay any attention to. This is this naked put here, naked puts 56%. This would be the ones that have been opened the longest, so 40 days, all the way down to fairly recent ones right here, and those are probably down a little bit. Okay, so 7% here, and this one is at 80%. This is nothing to get alarmed, especially when you consider that you have a hedge in that'll kick in. Right now it's kicking in with about $75 worth of protection, because you can see here the overall trade is only down $90. So everything is perfectly fine and in line here. And let's see. So just to show you that what I was mentioning, the little losses that we had on the things that are not our core strategy, that was the silver, the bonds, and the gold. And actually the silver was positive, $70 positive, and we lost a little bit on the other two. And so that's why the numbers are a little bit off. But again, this is part of the account, so we'll keep the numbers in, and we'll go along with that. So I think that's all I want to share for now. Stay tuned for the hedge on demand video and some updates and fine tunings to the one-to-one strategy. And just keep in mind, the one-to-one trade itself is just a trade, but we need to look at this as an overall portfolio, total approach. So there is some other moving parts that are involved that include some negative delta trades and some hedges, so that we get a clear picture for the whole performance. But they're moving parts, so going together based on the VIX and the current environment in the market. And as always, I'm trying to make this strategy as mechanical as possible. So I'm not a big fan of reading the charts or anything. I rarely even look at it. I don't care about the news. I don't care about the predictions. I want to develop this strategy to be as mechanical as possible, with a little bit of leeway at the edges that the trader can do at will, but that should be minimal. So to do that, I'm constantly trying to tweak a little bit some things, so that the whole thing performs better and reacts better to the market environment. And I'll be making a video about that as well. So stay tuned. And if you find this useful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.